Hi everyone, my name's Sydney and today I'm going to run you through a quick yoga flow that you can do post-run to stretch out those muscles in the legs and cool the body down. So right after you finish running, the first thing I want you to do is just kind of stand still and take a moment to get back to that breath. So you can do this in your living room, you can do this outside, really wherever you need. Just take those feet into a relatively wide stance, about hips width, and I'm going to recommend one hand on the heart, one hand on the stomach. Take a moment to just roll the shoulders back, maybe close the eyes if you can, and start breathing deeply in and out through the nose. So this steadiness of breath that you're finding now is going to carry through the rest of your sequence. So just make that inhale and that exhale as long as you can. It's a smooth breath in and a clearing breath out. Try to give yourself 5 or 6 more rounds of breath, just standing still, standing tall. Start to feel the heartbeat underneath that top hand, and as you slow with the breath, try to slow with the heartbeat as well. Just notice the impact that this steady breathing has on the rest of the body. The challenge will be to count this same 6 breaths out in each posture that you take today. So allow yourself to sit in that stillness and sit in that steadiness. Once you complete your 6 rounds, go ahead and flutter the eyes open, and we're going to move those hands to the small of our back, where we're going to take them to an interlace. With that same wide stance, just drag the knuckles down towards the heels of the feet and let the shoulders really roll back. So your tailbone is staying heavy here, and you're lifting from the chest, allowing the spine to arc, spreading through the front side of the body. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to lift the torso back up. Keep a bend in the knees as you hinge from the hips and let the chest relax down over the thighs. So the aim here is to stretch out the backs of the legs. Bending the knees can make this shape a little bit softer on the hamstrings if you need it to be. If this interlace isn't feeling good, you can of course always drop your hands to the ground, to the feet, whatever you need. But I want you to imagine that the hip points are lifting up as the rib cage is sliding down the thighs. And of course the neck is nice and long, the head is nice and heavy. We're coming back to that steady inhale and that slow exhale. Find that count of 6. Breath is in and out through the nose. Breathe in and breathe out. 2 more times. Exhale. Last breath in. This time as you release your breath, go ahead and slide the hands down to the floor if you haven't already. Lift the chest up halfway and let's widen the feet just a little further. Bend the knees, drop the seat into a malasana squat. So your feet are rather wide. Your toes are going to be turning out and away from the heels, and the hands are going to come to prayer in front of the chest. You use your elbows to spread the knees apart. So this is bringing a really nice stretch into the inner thighs. Your seat is dropping down, and we're kind of using the leverage of the arms to lift the chest up. So imagine that the chest plate is rising up into the sky, and with every breath in, you can just feel the rib cage get a little bit taller. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nostrils. Come back to that steady count and don't overcomplicate things. This count of 6 is meant to be simple, meant to be steady, meant to be something that you can rely on and that can carry you through the moments that start to feel maybe kind of trite, maybe kind of tense as you spend a couple moments in a shape. Follow through your count of 6. And as you release that 6th breath, we're going to drop our fingers down into the ground. Keep your feet rather wide and let's step the left foot back into a lizard lunge. So now you find your hands inside of that right foot. Your toe tips are gonna point forward, and we'll drop the left knee to the ground, untuck the toes. You're allowing your hips to slide forward. You can see that my back is nice and flat, nice and straight, and I'm still drawing my collarbone towards the front of the room. You're welcome to stay on the palms if you'd like, or drop down to the forearms. Both are perfectly fine. If you are in your living room or in your home and you have something that you can put under the arms, like blocks or even a pillow from your couch or your bed, that also works if you want to support the upper body a little more. But really already you'll start to feel that heaviness in the hips, stretching out the groin, stretching out the length of the legs. Make sure that right knee is stacked over that right ankle, and just allow the middle of the body to soften as you find the breath here. Eyes can always close. It's a great way to bring that awareness back inwards as you complete your count of 6. Find your last breath in. And your last breath out. As you next inhale, we're going to take it into a twist. So we'll take that right hand to the top of the right thigh, and pressing the muscle of the thigh gently forward, we'll start to turn the rib cage over to the right. So we're still pressing down with that left hand, lifting ourselves up and away from the floor and allowing the left ribs to roll underneath us as the right shoulder head rolls up and back. Gaze can lift up towards the ceiling. Really important is that we're pressing into the pads of the left fingertips, so we're finding that active, energetic lift through that left arm, as well as the dragging forward of the rib cage. So we're lengthening the spine, lengthening that back leg as we find our twist. And with every breath out, you'll actually notice that you can twist a little bit further. So allow yourself to deepen in the left side body. Allow yourself to continually rotate that right shoulder head back. We have one more inhale through the nose. Steady exhale through the nostrils. Release the grip of that right thigh, drop the hands to the ground, heel toe that right foot to the center of the mat or the center of your space, and let's start to drag the seat back over that left knee. So our right foot is going to flex here, toes pull back towards the face. Try to make sure that the hips are stacked over that left knee, and your left toes can be tucked for a little bit of security, a little bit of help with your balance here if you'd like. Your hands are going to walk forward towards that right heel, and we're going to feel like we're halfway lifting here. So our chest is pulling forward towards the front of your space, still maintaining that active lift through the rib cage, through the spine. And gently, as you exhale, you can allow that depth to come into that right hamstring as you gently lower the torso down and over the thigh and allow that proximity to be created. Take a nice breath in, maybe feel the rib cage stretch closer towards the toes. Create that depth with your breath out. Breathe in with me. And breathe out. One more time. Find your inhale. And steady exhale. As you next breathe in, bend back into that right knee. Let's heel toe the right foot out once more so you're in your lizard. And from here, just go ahead and lift that left knee up and off of the floor. Step the left foot up and back to that malasana. We're gonna sit here for a couple rounds of breath and then move right into the other side. So my challenge to you in this second iteration of malasana is just to notice what's different about the shape. So notice the inner thighs, notice if they're feeling a little bit broader, a little bit more expansive now that you know what the shape feels like. Maybe you notice that heartbeat, maybe you notice the pace of the breath, maybe the body's starting to feel more comfortable with this slower paced practice. Take one more inhale through the nose with me. As you exhale, those hands can drop down to the floor. We'll step the right foot back this time, come back into that lizard lunge. So the right knee is dropping down, toes can come untucked, left knee is stacked over that left ankle. And you can be on the palms here, you can drop to the forearms, find your support, whatever it is that you did on the other side. You can also give yourself permission to choose something different than you did on the other side. You know, the two sides of the body are not necessarily perfectly the same. So give yourself unconditional permission to experience the body as it is right now. Allow the hips to soften. Allow the shoulders to pull back. Allow the collarbone to shift forward. And with that inhale, you might feel that gentle forward shift of the rib cage. With that exhale, it might be some weight coming into the hips. Take another inhale through the nose. Find a steady breath out. Last time through, breathe in and breathe out. Coming into that twist, keep planting down with that right hand. Left hand comes to the left thigh, and we're just going to move the muscle of the thigh forward as we start to spin the ribs. So right rib cage rolls downwards, left shoulder rolls up and back. You want there to be some tension in this left arm, and that just gives you some additional leverage to find that mobility in the midsection. Your gaze can turn up over the shoulder. Maybe you notice that when you do turn the gaze up towards the sky, you find some additional buoyancy in that left side of the body. Keep spreading through the right fingertips. Keep pressing down into the finger pads. Feel like you're lifting the rib cage up and away from the floor. 3 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Come back to that inhale. Make room with your exhale. We have 1 more breath in to broaden through the collarbone. As you release the breath, left hand comes down. Tuck the back toes, start to slide the hips back. We're going to drag that left heel more towards the center of the space. And then we're going to flex through the left foot, pull the toe tips back towards you. So remember, we're stacking the hips up and over that right knee. We're not sitting back onto that right heel. We're finding some height, and then we're focusing on pulling the chest forward. Eventually, as you breathe and as the shape becomes more comfortable, the chest might also start to drop down towards the thigh. It's not really necessary. You're probably feeling this in the hamstring no matter what. So focus on making sure that these lines are nice and strong, nice and sharp. And if the breath allows the body to find that proximity between torso and thigh, then great. But really what's important is sensation, not what it looks like. Take another inhale through the nose. And let that breath ride on out. 1 more time, we breathe in. And we exhale. All right. Shift it back forward and into that lizard lunge. So the left foot comes outwards just a tad. We lift up on that right knee, step forward to our malasana where we began. You can take a couple breaths here if you'd like. And when you're ready, hands come to the ground. This time we're going to take it into a wide-legged fold. We're going to start to gently roll the body up, just vertebrae by vertebrae, until the head is last to rise. Now you're standing back where you started. Feel free to move on with the rest of your day. Aim to take this breath with you as you do so. Thanks so much.